Irish guy, and if you're mates with a Liverpool fan, I mean, if you know a Manchester City supporter, then just give them a ring, right now. Because I guarantee you, once they answer the phone, oh, they're gonna sound like someone who's just about to sit their final school exams, having done no revision. I mean, listen to the fear and dread in their voice. They're going to sound like a babysitter too scared to break the news that actually she's accidentally fed the toddler his grandmother's bottled breast milk by mistake, and also accidentally setting fire to the house. Listen, I know very few Manchester City fans. I mean, finding a Man City supporter in Ireland, it was like trying to find a nun in a strip club. It was like trying to find a basketball player in the hills of Wexford. I mean, honestly, they were like the White Walkers. They were almost a myth. I mean, nowadays the schools in Limerick are probably flooded with De Bruyne shirts at PE. I mean, you probably got trick-or-treaters in Galway getting dressed head to toe as Jack Grealish. I mean, no doubt that I've asked their mother to rub a stick of butter through their hair first, and also maybe also don't wash your pits for about 6 weeks to get the full sweat effect. By the way, try and hit 150,000 subscribers as soon as possible. If you're new here and you're not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Absolute legends, this is the place to be. Slap the big fat red button. Anyway, back into the video. But, I mean, there was one Man City fan in my entire school, but he was also the same sort of guy who used to eat banana skins and beg the janitor for a hug. Just a strange and lonely boy. But my point is that Man City and Liverpool, oh, stop lying to yourselves. You do not want to play this match. I don't care who you are. Not one person on planet Earth looks forward to playing either one of these teams. And especially not when there's a gargantuan Premier League title at stake. Honestly, for all of you, this is probably the weekend from hell. I mean, Liverpool fans probably trying to distract themselves by tucking into a shepherd's pie while sticking on a DVD of Pirates of the Caribbean 3. I mean, Man City fans are probably going to spend the Saturday evening playing Cluedo with the dog. I mean, honestly, I'm guessing when the Match of the Day theme tune comes on, oh, they'll probably just throw a brick at the TV. They don't want to think about football before Sunday. In the same way when you're preparing to go to court in the morning, you don't exactly want to stick on an episode of Prison Break. No, even the sight of Michael Schofield's back tattoos will honestly probably cause you to get sick on your knees. I'm going to call it. This is the biggest, most pressurized Premier League title decider clash between the two teams gunning for the league since Man City's Derby win in 2012. You know, the Vincent Kompany header? That was 10 years ago. I mean, I know the Man City versus Liverpool fixture in 2019 was tense, sure. But, lads, that was the 3rd of January. Just a week after Christmas. This is nearly mid-April, and there's less than a month of the season left. This game hits different. Yes, I know that Liverpool win over Man City in April 2014 was also a mammoth game, but that result didn't actually end up deciding anything. But this will. Whoever wins this match wins the league. And for City fans, oh boy, a massive game like this is always a worry because it's always an opportunity for Pep to flex how smart he is. I mean, those poor City fans are very praying.
Oh, please, Pep, don't do anything weird.
Because I know, for him, it's tempting, right? I mean, under the spotlight of Super Sunday, he might try and stick Phil Foden at left back, or force Kevin De Bruyne to play the entire match whilst wearing a hat. But guys, I wouldn't put it past him to instruct Ederson to dress him in a cow onesie. Honestly, Pep, in big games like this, he just cannot resist. Well lads, Man City versus Liverpool. Before Guardiola and Klopp came to town, these two clubs were not rivals in any way, shape or form. I mean, good guys, if you'd stuck these two together at a table at a wedding, they'd have nothing in common to talk about other than the fact that they both hate Manchester United and, oh yeah, they both signed Craig Bellamy. I mean, that's pretty much it. Sure, maybe the City fan could ask the Liverpool one what Joey Barton was like as a child. I mean, did he always prowl the streets looking like someone who wanted to bite the head off a cat? What, they just knock back a pint of champagne each and then do the Kolo Tori Yaya Tori song? That's it! I mean, when I was growing up, Liverpool kept a clean sheet against Man City 7 games on the bounce. Honestly, for Rafa Benitez, Manchester City was no more a threat than getting smallpox on your knob. Spoiler, that disease no longer exists. I mean, I think it might still make pigeons sick, but that's about it. But honestly, these games were dull as dishwater. From April 2005 to May 2008, this fixture saw just 5 goals scored in 7 matches. Honestly, back then, watching Liverpool versus Manchester City, Rafa Benitez versus Stuart Pearce or Sven-Göran Eriksson, it was like trying to watch a 4-hour live stream of your nan knitting a jumper. I mean, unless she suddenly gets mauled by a dinosaur halfway through, it sounds boring as sin. I'd sooner watch Judi Dench take a poo. Honestly, I cannot tell you how meaningless this match was. So now, for it to become the mammoth, the biggest and best beastly game in world football, the most watched game on TV, it's It's ridiculous. I mean, this is a bit like how Tyson Fury used to spar Anthony Joshua in the back of a gym before they were famous. Yeah, nobody really cared about that in 2010. I mean, even everyone else in the gym at the time were probably more interested in their dumbbell squats and drinking creatine in the shower than seeing these two dingbats clinching for 20 minutes. I mean, honestly, if the guy around the gym had handed out flyers in the streets of Warrington asking for people to come and watch, people would treat that as if you just handed them a 2-star pizza menu. Sorry, that's going straight in the bin. I mean, come on, it was just some Instagram pretty boy versus an actual gypsy. He would have had a better chance convincing people to come and watch him arm wrestle his dog on the couch. But now, it's suddenly a £100 million fight that everybody wants to watch. But money gave that fight a makeover, and money has given this game a huge makeover. It's now the biggest game in England and arguably the planet. And who saw this coming? I mean, definitely not Raheem Sterling. I mean, 7 years ago, he clearly looked at Brendan Rodgers and saw a smiling dunce staring back at him. He didn't want to put his future in the hands of a former Swansea coach. I mean, he was disillusioned with life at Liverpool. I'm not saying for 1 minute that Sterling regrets his Man City move. But if you told a teenage Raheem back in 2015 that Liverpool would then be appointing Jurgen Klopp before Christmas and would soon hit 99 points in the league, 97 points in the league, would reach 2 Champions League finals, and will be just 1 point off the top of the league in April 2022, I honestly don't think he and his agent would have created that massive stink to get him out of Anfield. It wouldn't have been worth the fuss, the stress, or the headache. I guarantee you, as a result, Sterling would be a club legend with over 400 appearances. He'd have about 120 goals and be due an Anfield testimonial this year, with a host of world-class footballers attending and for some reason Theo Baker sneaking in the back door. But lads, these two clubs are now fighting over the title. I mean, back in the day they were squabbling over Gareth Barry. I'm sorry, what happened? Honestly, what? And it's not just the Premier League either. These two are already penciled in for an FA Cup semi-final next week, and the following month they could be facing off in the Champions League final. I mean, if all of that happens, then I promise you, these two will be sick to the sight of each other. Every game is a massive pressure cooker. It's almost too much to bear. It's too tense. Again, it's like if Tyson Fury had fought Deontay Wilder 3 times in a month instead of spread out over 2 years. I mean, just like watching every Godfather film in one afternoon. It's like listening to every Snoop Dogg album on the train to court. It's just, it's too much. Brain overload. Klopp versus Guardiola is a fascinating modern day managerial battle of wits that was actually imported from Germany. I mean, honestly, there's a rivalry which belongs to the Bundesliga. I mean, honestly, that league should have just trademarked and copyrighted this battle. Honestly, this is a bit like if La Liga had just plucked Fergie versus Wenger out of the Premier League in 2002 and instead giving them comfy jobs at Barcelona and Real Madrid. Pretty sure the viewers in England would feel a bit shortchanged. I mean, this is an iconic modern day rivalry. But like if Marvel had bought the rights to Godzilla versus King Kong, yeah, someone somewhere is getting fired for that. I mean, this is like if a tennis Super League had paid Wimbledon to give them Nadal versus Federer 10 years ago. Honestly, this is the hottest game in world football. But if I'm an avid Bundesliga fan, then I'm a bit disgusted. They created and molded this rivalry on Bundesliga's match of the day. And now instead, the Premier League top 3 is just littered with former Bundesliga coaches. Even Manchester United have a former Schalke man at the wheel. I mean, a Bundesliga Hall of Famer. The German League's answer to Steve Bruce, even if he does look like a sexually frustrated scientist who keeps humping his pillows in the dark. Honestly, England, you robbed Pep versus Klopp from Germany. People call it the game of the century, but no. Manchester United versus Arsenal had bite. Manchester United versus Chelsea too. Good Christ, Wayne Rooney has admitted he tried to break John Terry's foot. Very good. Stamping on your England captain 6 weeks before the World Cup. Clearly back then he had the brains of a snowman soaked in dog piss. But that is one thing this match lacks. Just aggression, needle, bite. Patrick Vieira versus Roy Keane. Martin Keown screaming in Vanessa Roy's face. Half the Arsenal team trying to bully Gary Neville in the tunnel. Fabregas chucking a pizza at Fergie. I think still Arsenal versus Manchester United was still the defining Premier League match. That's the one you'd want to show to aliens trying to invest in the sport. But where's the bite of this game? I mean, come on. Yes, it's football perfection, but come on. The closest we've got to aggression lately is Joe Gomez pushing Raheem Sterling. But honestly, this isn't a blood and thunder face-off. I mean, is that it? They look like they're about to kiss. I mean, good grief. Sterling even had to release a heartfelt apology on Instagram. I mean, what else? I guess a few years ago, Sadio Mane accidentally catching Ederson in the chest. And oh yeah, Bernardo Silva refused to clap. But other than that, these games are just too respectful. But if you're a Liverpool fan, here is your warning. Look away now, shove a pillow over your ears, because you will not like this stat. Yes, we all remember your famous win at Man City in the Champions League 5 years ago. But here's the reality. You have won one Premier League match at the Etihad since October 2008, when you somehow thumped them 4-1 in late 2015. So, what's my prediction for this mouth-watering huge game? You know what? I'm still going for a Liverpool win. I'm convinced this team just wanted more. I mean, let's be honest, Man City fans have been spoiled by Pep and the takeover in general. I mean, you're going for your 6th Premier League title in a decade, and your 4th under Guardiola. I mean, yes, your squad on paper blows Liverpool out of the water. I mean, just look at the strength and depth. You wouldn't even pay Divock Origi to clean your toilets, and yet here he is wallowing on the Liverpool bench. I mean, it's a weird chunk of symmetry. The 4 teams Man City dropped points against in the first half of the season were Tottenham, Southampton, Crystal Palace, and Liverpool. They took 2 points from those 4 games. In the second half of the season, they dropped points to Tottenham, Southampton, and Crystal Palace. So, we're just waiting for Liverpool to complete the set. I mean, so far, you've taken 2 points from those 3 games. So, if this was to be an exact mirroring of what happened pre-Christmas, then this has to be a Liverpool win, right? To leave Man City rooted on 2 points from these 4 games. I mean, Liverpool won the league in 2020, but did they really? Where were the photos of the open-top bus parade that Jurgen Klopp promised? After 30 years of hurt, was it really enough for Liverpool fans to just celebrate with a beer on the couch? No, it was the most anticlimactic title win in history. Honestly, it's like being released from prison after 3 decades. And instead of being able to celebrate with a party down the pub with your mates, instead you just have to sit on the couch playing Crash Bandicoot with your mum. Oh, it's all a bit so anticlimactic. This Man City team, they can be sloppy. They've already chucked 2 pieces of silverware down the drain this season against West Ham and Leicester. I mean, in the Champions League, the only team they've actually managed to beat twice is Club Brugge. But this Liverpool team are an unstoppable train. You are dangling the prospect of a Premier League title win that they can actually celebrate with their fans. And the only thing that's stopping them is they have to grind out a win over Man City. No, this is happening. It just is. Sure, it'll be a tight game and City will dominate possession, but it's going to mirror the Champions League final against Chelsea. Luis Diaz will score a breakaway goal, 1-0 Liverpool win. They'll crawl 2 points above Man City. Jordan Henderson will scream, "This
does not slip!"
And yeah, they'll go on to win the league. Sorry to spoil the fun for you lads, but trust me, Liverpool are winning this match. So then, bring on an angry FA Cup semi-final next week, where finally we might see someone like Kyle Walker try to break someone's leg, but I mean, I guess that will be your bite. Anyway, that's what you let me know in the comments below. Put down below who you think is going to win. Enjoy the video. Don't forget to subscribe as always. Talk to you in a while.